Kenya is a land of youthful energy, a place filled with ambition, talent, and dreams. More than 70% of the population is under the age of 35. They represent not only the nation's workforce, but also its future. Yet in recent years, something silent, something dangerous, has swept across this vibrant group. A crisis hidden behind the glow of smartphone screens and the promise of instant wealth. Gambling, online betting, and one game in particular, Aviator. At first glance, Aviator seems simple. A virtual plane takes off. The higher it goes, the bigger your winnings. Cash out early and you walk away with profit. Wait too long and the plane crashes. And when it does, you lose everything. Every second counts, every round is fast, and every player thinks they can beat the system. But the truth is, the system is designed so the house always wins. So how did Aviator and gambling in general become such a storm in Kenya? The roots go back to around 2010. That's when international betting companies entered the market. The timing was perfect. Cheap internet spread across towns and villages. Mobile money platforms like M-Pesa made it possible to deposit and withdraw in seconds. Suddenly, betting became as easy as sending a text. For many young Kenyans struggling with unemployment, it felt like a chance, maybe the only chance, to change their lives. By 2018, the numbers were staggering. Kenya had become one of the largest betting markets in Africa. Reports showed that more than 70% of youth had placed a bet. Betting shops mushroomed in towns. Online platforms became a daily ritual. And then came Aviator, a game so fast, so addictive, that within minutes it could pull someone into a spiral they could not escape. Why was it so appealing? Partly because it gave instant gratification. You didn't have to wait hours for a football match to end. The result came in seconds. Social media fueled the craze even further. Young people posted videos of themselves winning big, flashing cash, living glamorous lives. Others wanted in. Add to that the frustration of joblessness and poverty, and Aviator became more than just a game, it became a false lifeline. Deposits could be as low as 50 shillings. Anyone could play. Everyone thought they could win. But behind the bright graphics and flashing wins are real stories of loss. Stories of debts so deep they swallow entire families.
Huyu mama alikuwa akifanya betting. Hii ndege ya kuwa kwa simu imepotea na pesa zake karibu shilingi 60,000. Ndiposa akanyamaza na mambo kama hayo yakamfikisha mahali ambapo amefika. Kwa hivyo tunaomba kila mmoja, ukiwa na chambo uweze kusemezana na wenzako, wanaweza kusaidia kutatua chambo kama hilo.
Sasa hii mchezo wa betting tunasikia ati alikuwa amewin pesa fulani, na hizo pesa
hanging in their homes, families mourning sons who believed they had no way out. Newspapers report the cases, communities whisper about them, but the stigma keeps many silent. The damage spreads quietly, like fire under dry grass, and this problem didn't start in silence. For years, Kenyan television was flooded with betting advertisements. Prime-time shows promised jackpots in the millions. Beloved celebrities urged viewers to play. Sports shows turned into gambling arenas. Even children watching alongside their parents were told that betting was normal, even glamorous. Studies later revealed that secondary school students were using pocket money to gamble. Betting wasn't just a pastime. It was being sold as a way of life. By 2019, the crisis could no longer be ignored. The government stepped in.
27 betting firms ceased operations effective immediately after the government suspended their operating licenses. And
the ban on the influencers from participating in betting adverts is not welcomed.
Companies like SportPesa and Betin were even forced out temporarily in bitter tax disputes. It was a turning point, but by then the damage had already spread, and games like Aviator had taken root in online spaces beyond the reach of TV bans. Psychologists explain why these games are so powerful. It isn't just luck, it's science. The illusion of control tricks players into believing they can predict when the plane will crash. The near-miss effect, where someone almost wins, makes them believe they were close, just one more try. Variable rewards, random and unpredictable, keep players hooked like slot machines. The dopamine rush from a win is the same kind of high drug users experience. Gambling becomes less of a game and more of an addiction. The human stories paint the darkest picture. Kevin, a 22-year-old university student, won 3,000 shillings the first time he played. It felt easy, magical, like his problems were finally solved. Within months, he was addicted, borrowing from friends, taking loans, and eventually dropping out of school, drowning in 80,000 shillings of debt. Or Jane, a young mother who gambled her savings away trying to pay her child's school fees. When she lost, her marriage collapsed, leaving her isolated and also ashamed. In Kisumu and Nairobi, cases of suicide.
Police believe the man took his own life moments after he posted a question on his Facebook page on the quickest way to...
Gambling doesn't just destroy individuals, it eats into entire communities. Billions of shillings vanish every year into betting platforms, most of them owned abroad. Families lose their breadwinners. Crime rises, with addicts resorting to theft or fraud. Children grow up neglected in homes torn apart by debt. A cycle of poverty deepens, passed on from one generation to the next. Government bans on gambling TV shows and ads tried to slow the wave. Popular programs where viewers texted codes for instant prizes disappeared. Heavy fines were imposed on stations that broke the rules. Ads were forbidden between 6 in the morning and 10 at night. Children were protected, at least for a few hours each day, but companies simply shifted focus. They turned to online platforms, to apps, to social media influencers. The addiction spread where regulation was weakest. So where does Kenya go from here? Solutions are complex but necessary. Stricter regulation of online games like Aviator must be enforced. Public awareness campaigns can show young people the real risks, using testimonies from those who lost everything. Job creation, skills training, and entrepreneurship opportunities can offer alternatives to desperate youth. Counseling and rehabilitation must be available for those already trapped, and families must play their part, speaking openly with children, breaking the silence that fuels shame. The Aviator scam and the wider gambling culture in Kenya is more than entertainment. It is a national crisis. It has stolen dreams, emptied pockets, and claimed lives. But it does not have to define the future. With stronger policies, community support, and honest conversations, the country can fight back. The story of Aviator is a warning, not just for today, but for tomorrow. Because when a society fails to protect its most vulnerable, the cost is not measured in shillings, but in shattered lives and broken families. This is the reality of gambling in Kenya, a reality that must be faced before more planes crash, before more lives are lost, and before another generation grows up believing that wealth comes, not from work, but from luck.